So I would like to add on to what I said in the previous video. I want to make sure y'all understand. I support these protesters and 110%. That officer, I believe his last name was Chauvin, 20-year veteran, 12 complaints. You know, if it was any other movement, as D.L. Hughley said, any other situation, the sheer fact of volume of complaints of different people who have no connection to each other possibly will give people the idea like, okay, this person, at the very minimum, should not be allowed to be a police officer. It's just like, he's going to be forever on the desk. Or if he can't be on the streets, he's going to do administration. Or just not have him as a police officer. You know, people are saying, oh, aren't you upset about these stores being burned down? And it's just like, I'm more upset of our schools falling apart. Those Targets and liquor stores, yeah, it's sad that they're burned down. It's sad that those people lost their businesses. But Target, liquor stores, they're massive corporations with massive tax cuts that damage society. Yes, they provide jobs, but at the same time, the good that they do is providing employment is bare minimum, is an ant to an elephant to the damage they do to a local economy and the local group of people. So I don't feel bad about liquor stores or Targets and getting looted. I don't. You know, everyone has a right to open a Target and a liquor store, but you got a massive tax break. You're protected by the Constitution. So it's frustrating to hear people talk like that. And it's usually coming from people who are not from a demographic who has been persecuted by a system in this country. Like I said in the previous video, as a Middle Eastern American, the only place where I could relate to an African American experience is probably in the airport or running with the local ignorant person. But I'm not worried when I go to if TSA stops me, I'm gonna get shot by TSA. I'm just gonna probably be told like, hey, come here, we gotta do a random inspection. But compared to what George Floyd went to, or what other African Americans go to, not just outside their homes, but they're in their own home, it's nothing. Like, I have to leave my house to go to the airport. You know, African Americans and other people of color are not safe in their own homes, and it's just so sad. And it really, so Black Lives Matter, man. Black Lives Matter because, and not say they matter more. It's just like, hey, we matter just as much as you do. You know, I understand that. I've learned the right lessons from the discrimination that I've faced and applied it in empathy to walk in other people's shoes. And it's like, okay, I hear you. I understand. So that's what I encourage people to do. If you don't think that's true, you should ask yourself this question. Would you trade how you're being treated with how an African American is treated in this country, in America? Would you trade how you're treated with how an average African American is treated? You know, and everyone knows what I'm talking about. You know, and the question you also got to ask yourself is, if you're not okay with it, then why are you okay with it happening to African Americans? I'm not okay with it. I ask my African American friends the hard questions, like, how do you feel when you see an African American getting gunned down, literally, and killed? You know, I encourage everyone to do that. I encourage it, because I know not every African American is the same, but like, I imagine like there's a common understanding among a common shared experience in this country. So I get really passionate, and so it's very hard to find my words. I know I close my eyes a lot. So I just want to leave y'all with that. And the solution is very simple to fix, man. It's you take the billions of dollars that we spend on military and foreign wars and just take those billions and just move them over here into fun education, put more schools on the ground, put more teachers in the classrooms. Like, it's so simple, man. So simple. I believe you should have a 3-to-1 ratio to teachers and staff in a classroom. So if you have 30 students, you have 10 faculty in that room. You know, I personally believe classrooms shouldn't be bigger than 15 or 12. So the problems in this world aren't complicated. They're connected. Therefore, they're simple in their solution. Because if you fix one solution helps another. Or if you find the common solution, you can affect a lot of them. You know? To me, it all goes back to education. You know, how can we, in ending these wars, I believe right now in this country we need universal basic income, universal health care, universal housing, universal debt forgiveness, like credit card, rent, mortgage, car payments, all of it. That's just a start. Again, it's all about moving those billions and just spending them here. You know? It's not that hard. So, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.